It's time.
Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rafa Spars. I'm over here at 10th Planet Buena Park. I've got my good friends, Brandon McCaghren.
Hi.
I've got, Jesus, Casey, how many 10th Planets do you have now?
6.
Six? Holy shit. Last time I talked to you, I thought you had four.
We have 10th Planet Costa Mesa, 10th Planet Buena Park, 10th Planet Orange, 10th Planet Irvine, 10th Planet Las Vegas, and 10th Planet Tucson, and Classic Muay Thai.
Jesus, dude, that's incredible. So you opened up, I think, two since the last time we talked to you. Which one were those two?
Vegas and Tucson.
Vegas and Tucson. How's it like in Tucson? Is it hotter than Vegas, or is it Vegas hotter than Tucson?
Tucson's definitely hotter than Vegas.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you survive those trips? Like, is it just a ton of water that you have to ingest?
Yeah, definitely stay hydrated, and everything's refrigerated. Actually, I wear sweatshirts everywhere in Tucson.
Are you serious?
Yep.
How do you do that?
Well, you get out of the car and, you're defrosting because you were freezing in the car. And then by the time you get hot again, you walk into a store and then the store is freezing. So anytime you go eat lunch or dinner somewhere in Tucson or Vegas, you better bring a sweatshirt because it's going to be really cold in that restaurant.
Oh my god! Did you put this up for us, sir?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Brandon shared it. So if you guys are watching right now, send us some questions. Brandon's going to occasionally check his phone. But first of all, I want to know what brought you here, man. Like, what brought you out to LA today?
Well, I just wanted to come spend some time with my friend Casey.
Not me.
No.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You
thank
mostly. You. I came here for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you came, obviously. You guys. I want to know how exactly you guys got. Stop! Don't do that to the camera. Don't tell them a secret that you're not telling me. Anyway, so he came out here. He just did a seminar out here at Buena Park, 10th Planet. It was fantastic. If I were to use one word to sum up your entire seminar, what do you think that one word from me would be?
If you were to use
If I were to use one word to describe your seminar, what do you think it would be from me?
sexual.
Bingo.
That was
Right there. Right
too.
there.
That
Can-
was actually what I was aiming for.
So you like walk into seminars and you go, today it's going to be sexual.
How can I make
yes.
this unfortunate for everyone? That's really what I'm aiming for.
I was wondering why we were doing so many back takes, but now I guess it just kind of really all makes sense. All right, so Brandon, you obviously been up to a lot of stuff. You come out to LA, flight was good, travel was good. What's your favorite part about coming out this way?
All the food is not fried. That's the best part. And well, I say that, but last night Casey and Matt took us to a place and we had fried chicken. It was like I can't get away from it. It was really good.
You can take the boy out of Alabama, but hey, here's a question for you. So, can you guys tell me your first impressions of each other? Because let me just say this. I am right next to two of the most beloved people in jiu-jitsu. Not just 10th Planet, but jiu-jitsu, period. People respect the fuck out of you. Do you know why? And I can tell you this as a first-person testimonial. I was standing right next to them as people were leaving. People went to shake their hands, and they were shaking my hands too. Nobody respects me. But they were coming up being like, Raph, it's so good to see you. I was like, that's a lie.
You're friends with Casey.
Like, the
Halstead?
average just goes up a little bit. So, tell me your first memory of Brandon McCaghren over here.
Well, that's kind of
Wait.
honestly for me, like the way Brandon and I met was like he had a reputation of being an extremely technical jiu-jitsu instructor, and so my first impression of him was literally just that, was just like, oh man, this guy's an awesome instructor, very well respected. And then I had the opportunity to meet him and become friends with him, and I realized that jiu-jitsu is just a very small part of like what makes him great. And I mean, now, like, I've been to Decatur, he's been to Vegas, I don't know how many times, and I mean, you could see, I mean, we obviously like each other's company, and we just do a lot of stuff together. I think we may have a different delivery, but I think that our message is the same. And so definitely, like, he's just my good buddy. That's awesome. You know,
I have to say, because every time people see you in the same place, the place is always packed. Like, you always have really good attendance at your gyms, and that's why you're able to open up so many different gyms, and so many different people respond to that. But every time I see him at Vegas, I swear to God, you're breaking fire codes.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Now, tell me your favorite or your first memory of Casey, because, I mean, he's a very visual person. He's not hard to find. If you look at any jiu-jitsu fan,
Gentleman, yes.
that mustache is legendary. Everybody knows that. But what was your first impression, and where do you remember him first from?
Okay, so the first time that I really knew much about Casey was there's a guy named Jesse Bell. Him and his brother were traveling all over the country, just going to different jiu-jitsu schools, and they stopped in Decatur and stayed for a couple of weeks. And Jesse was like, listen, man, you have to meet Casey Halstead. You and Casey are going to be best friends if you'll meet Casey. It's like, you're the same dude. You're the same guy. And so that was the first time I was like, oh, okay. Because I knew, obviously, like being in the same organization, we had our black belts from the same coach, and so like I knew who Casey was, but we might have met, but I don't think we had ever spent any time together. And so, anyway, just see him here, and then I'll see him here, and then I make it out to Vegas and teach at his place, and just, I think we get along maybe. You're a family man. I'm a family man. Like, Temple Plant dudes are kind of wild, but I'm like I'm not like a wild dude. Like, I'm pretty like.
We're square.
Yeah, you were.
I'm a bore. I'm like the most boring dude in 10th Planet for sure, right? So I don't know, like people who put their family first. I understand, like, oh, like you love your wife. You're super committed to your family. Yeah. Oh, I get that. And so we're kind of on the same page with stuff like that. And he wants to be successful. I want to be successful, not just like financially or with your gym, but like as a human being. And so we're on the same page with that. And jiu-jitsu just happens to be a place where we can come and do something fun together.
That's super cool. Now, I see the two of you, and you are right. You do have different styles. Like a Venn diagram, there's a large part that overlaps between the way that the two of you seem to address people. For funsies, though, have you ever thought about switching and you doing it like Casey and you doing it like Brandon? Because I would actually.
We talked about that.
Did you really?
Yeah, we talked about, like, why don't you just bring your family out to Decatur and I'll take my family. So you come live at my house in Decatur. My family will go to your house in Vegas, and then we'll just see what happens.
Yo, that's a show. That's wife swap, essentially.
Gym swap. Gym swap. Yeah.
How freaked out would your students be if Casey walked out and was just like, guys, today I'm Brandon?
Well, I mean, I could speak for my students. My students would rejoice for sure. They love Brandon, especially in Vegas, because he's been to Vegas multiple times, and I think that they view him already as an instructor. Okay. And I've been exposed to some of his students. I've done a seminar in Decatur. But I definitely think the reception would be a lot warmer coming this way.
It would be the opposite for you.
I would win them over for sure. I mean, I know how to win over a crowd, definitely. But I mean, it would literally be like, oh, Casey's here, and then they would have to learn to love me. Whereas Brandon would just make one post on Facebook, and the gym would be packed, and he would get a. That's real.
The magic runs out pretty quick, though. Yeah? Yeah, it runs out pretty fast.
That's really cool. Have we gotten any questions? Did anybody said stuff? If you guys, okay, we get some. What are a few of the comments that we're getting right now?
Richard Rodarte.
Yeah, what's up, Rodarte?
Richard Rodarte. Rodarte.
And he says,
thank yous. He says, thank yous.
Okay,
thank yous. Thank yous for putting on the seminar. Appreciate the time taken, Brandon. Opening my eyes to improving my movement. I like the way that happened.
I know. It was harmony at the same time.
It felt good.
It
really,
did. I thought so.
Honestly.
Especially we didn't rehearse it. It was really just live. That's the way it goes. Ha ha ha, do it. So I think he means
maybe to the gym swap.
Yeah, to the gym swap.
Mike DeWitt Jr. Here's a question. Mike DeWitt Jr. How are you both so
No. There's no so. So I'll ask it the way it was intended to be asked, and I'll start with Casey. How are you both so beautiful?
Well, that's very easy for me. Why is it still going on?
I don't know, dude.
It's just it's something I was blessed with. It's kind of hard to describe, to be honest with you, but I wake up in the morning and my mustache is always just on point. For real. I mean, I can literally shave it tonight and would wake up tomorrow with this thing.
You do know it's like a subject of envy. You know that people out there are jealous of your mustache.
Well, Josh Barnett calls it the ironic mustache. He was like, Casey, what's up with the ironic mustache? Me neither, but I love it. That's so So every time someone's like, "Hey man, that's a great mustache," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's the ironic mustache." When Mr. Barnett says that's the ironic mustache, then pretty much it's the ironic mustache.
Of the sport. Well, that is great. I have to say this, and I realize that I'm saying this as I'm looking right next to you, so I understand that death may be a possibility. Have you thought about going a Super Mario for a year for Halloween? Because I feel it'd be a home run.
You know, it's funny that you say that because Chito Vera, one of my fighters, he continually sends me memes of Luigi. And he's like, "Hey, this is you, coach," and Mario and everybody. And
No, but you're way more Mario, though. I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Boss.
For real. And not only is Mario the boss, but your posture. Like, if I were to develop a Casey Halstead impression, I'm just saying it may exist. I don't know if it does. But,
It does.
but,
I like if
you have
me-
one?
if
Do you
me
have
and
one?
my wife go through Target. I go through Target as Casey Halstead.
you
That's just
really?
stand. That's just a standing rule.
can I tell you, so I've got to make a comment about that. So I have many different levels to my life, right? So I have like corporate friends from my old corporate job, and then obviously I have my students, and then I have like family, and everywhere in my life, as soon as someone imitates me, everyone imitates me the exact same way.
That's true.
It's wild, dude. I'm like, you imitate me the same way that he imitates me. And one of my friends, Brent Cooper, at work, he went and got a fake mustache one day, and he got a wig, and he went into the bathroom, and he came out like during a meeting, and he was like, "Hey, what the fuck going on over here?" and everybody just knew it was me. It's funny.
But it's a very subtle thing. Okay, so I do impressions for a living, so I understand that. It's like anybody could do an impression, but it takes a lot of attention to detail. It's not like you don't just come in like an Italian guy, be like, right, half guard, these fucking bitches. Oh, like it's not Dice Clay. It's not what you do. But you have this posture about you.
That's the one that I
and
wanted to target.
I swear, like, this is me normally, but if I'm like, somebody's like, Raph, what do you think of Casey? Oh, I think Casey's great, man. Just, I gotta, like, my back has to be totally like this. Yeah, like, it's impressive. Now, you tried to do this when you go to Target. Has anybody ever looked at you weird when you're being Casey?
Well, just my children and my wife and my children. Nobody else knows it's
Where
weird.
did Daddy go? Where are you? We getting some more comments over here because I have a
sure.
question
Okay,
for you if we don't have one.
All
You guys are both so inspiring. Look at that. You guys are like the male Oprahs of the sport.
I love both of you guys.
Aw.
Oh, I like the way that paused on
I
your
know.
face. Like
It definitely, there's like when it buffered on our stream right here, it's just me doing this like a pterodactyl.
again.
Will Brandon get a chance to do a surprise drop-in to teach a full class from Richard Rodarte? Brandon.
Nope. Nope. I'm going home tomorrow.
I know. I'm trying to get him to say, but it's just not working, guys.
Soon, though. I'll come back soon.
When are you going to come back? Now, the two of you, and again, I don't want to give anything away, but the two of you seem to be scheming something, and I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you I like the fact that the two of you are scheming together, if I could say that. Okay, so I'm not breaking any news here, but the two of you are scheming something, if I were to say that.
I think the appropriate way to make that statement would be we have plans.
I like scheming. It sounds a little dangerous.
It sounds a little dangerous.
It's not actually dangerous.
It's not
at all.
dangerous.
It's the
However,
most dangerous
again,
thing ever.
people like the two of you, so it's not a problem. I think it's a good thing. Somebody asked me here, and you didn't bring this one up, but this is important to bring up. Johnny
I feel
Gallinaris?
very uncomfortable. with
Johnny
that last name.
Gallinaris. I'm very sorry. I know I'm screwing this up. But you got to get B-Mac to sing. So hold on. Casey, is there a song that you would like to see Brandon sing? Because Brandon has a ton of songs. Okay, real talk, people. When the radio was on here, he was singing Nirvana's Come As You Are. Now, you guys know how the song is really sung. It's part of the grunge movement from the 90s. So there's a lot of gravel in the voice, and it's kind of, that kind of thing, right? Now, you sing it like you were singing it here.
I don't remember.
Come as you are, and I swear.
And I swear that I don't have a gun. know what? I don't know.
You do, but you're still like you're adding too many beautiful like notes to it. Like when they did that, it wasn't that.
What's the girl that my daughter likes to sing? Sarah Bareilles.
Oh, Sarah Bareilles?
favorite.
She's your favorite?
Remember we were talking about how I'm scared of everything?
Yes.
There are no masculine qualities about me. Nothing about me says, "Oh, he's a man." Like
Your
everything.
jiu-jitsu says you're a man.
Oh, a woman can't have great jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu can be anybody, but let's be real. When you walk in here, your jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu can be anybody, but girls suck at it.
No, hold on.
That's what you're saying.
I was gonna pivot to Holic. You got to give me a second to do it. But like, it's cute and all that they do it. Ladies, if you listen to any of our podcasts, you know exactly how we feel about that. Anyway, don't sell me out on this.
No, it's fine.
I'm just saying, when you step in here, it's just like if a lady steps in here and she's teaching great jiu-jitsu, she is powerful. When you step in here, you're saying, in the context of being a man, I'm not weak, you walk in here, your jiu-jitsu is very powerful. So it makes you the extent of being a man. So take that for a definition, you dick. No, get off me.
No, I just want to nuzzle.
You can't nuzzle, because I literally just called you a man, and you were just like, that's great.
Well, I just told you I'm not a man. I'm scared of spiders, scary movies.
So back to your point about Sarah Bareilles. Why is Sarah Bareilles your favorite?
She's the most talented person in popular music right now.
Okay, so sing a song of hers right now.
Maybe nobody loved you when you were young. Maybe, boy, when you cried, nobody'd ever come. Won't you try it once? Give up the machine gun. Oh, machine gun.
We're going to take that audio. We're going to remix that. No, it's okay. It was good. Because you know what the important thing is? Some people here were asking me, they're like, what person actually said this? Mind you, it was before we got to rolling. But they're just like, so you're a brown belt too? And I was like, blah! That's hilarious. Thank you very much. But they were like, well, how do you know Brandon? He seems to like you. And I was like, well, and for each person, I made up a different lie. So it's just like, Brandon and I go way back. I was his janitor. And I was solving problems in his office, and he was the one who saw the light in me. And that's how I ended up winning the Math Genius of the World award. Also, I left Boston.
Sure that's Goodwill Hunting.
Nope. Definitely my life story. To somebody else, they were like, how do you know Brandon? And I was like, I'm his roadie. We're traveling around a lot. We're trying to get a lot of coverage, He's getting out there. He's real good. He's got a country western album a lot of people don't know about, but we're getting there.
That might be true.
It might be true. Oh,
true.
yeah? Interesting. And then I think the last person was just like, how do you know Brandon? I was like, well, the unfortunate story is he created a very funny song a long time ago in response. And then I had to actually go into the backstory. I was like, hey, kids, a long time ago, there was a match. It was at Metamorphs 3. Somebody said something ridiculous, and then he made a great song out of it. And everybody loved him, except the people who didn't. But we loved you. And I was like, this is really funny. And ever since, he's become one of our good friends.
The song was first. I thought the wrestler thing was first, but it was the song was first.
The song that was first. Because then, okay, and again, let's give credit to the gentleman holding the camera, Derek Rayfield, who's quite good at jiu-jitsu. So he's...
Beat you up tonight?
He didn't beat me up tonight, but I think we have rolled before. Derek, have we rolled before?
I don't think so.
I think you have, and I'll tell you why. Because not only did you beat me up, but we were at, I think, a jiu-jitsu at the park. Have you gone to one of those? No, I haven't. Oh, then it wasn't you. Oh, shit, I thought it was you.
You're so stupid.
I was stupid, because I'll tell you.
Just get beat up by
I just get beat up.
You're so terrible.
Well, as a fake brown belt, I guess that's how it goes. No, I could have sworn, and I'll tell the story, and I'll pivot very quickly, but I swore it was you because, and I guess it's not, but there was somebody who I was like, oh, I'm rolling with a younger kid, so I'll let them get mount, and I'll work from there. When you go to jiu-jitsu in the park, there's a lot of sun, and it hit a certain particular part of the mat, and we were on that part of the mat, and I was like, okay, well, I need to get out of mount, so, this is not going to be good for me. The sun's beating down. I'm like, I think I'm going to get a sunburn. And I try and get this kid off me, and I was like, oh, shit, he's got really good mount. Oh, shit, we've got to go to the A game. Kid, this is not funny. This is burning my back. And I swore that when I saw you at EBI and I interviewed you, I was like, they go, ref, you want to interview Derek? And I was like, that son of a bitch. It is good jiu-jitsu. Yeah, sure, I'll talk to him. So I thought that was you, and I thought you were obviously that good, and you were very entertaining. I know he's that good. And he's a very nice interview, too. So if you guys haven't seen that, it's at Verbal Tapcast. We interviewed him. He's obviously talented. You know that. But anyway, where were we saying a second ago? What we were talking about was That's where we met you because
That's probably your greatest talent is remembering what we were talking
absolutely.
about. I was done.
I know, just so much here. But what happens is, he had done the song for us. We became friends. He comes on our show like 5, 6, 7 times. One of our favorite guests. All of your episodes very, very popular. Then all of a sudden, this wrestler thing happened. And overnight, you became a little jiu-jitsu celebrity. Okay? So that the next time when I called you, I was like, hey, man, you want to come on our show? And he was just like, oh, yeah, I guess I could.
That's not true.
I'm just living up the social media. I think it hit 100 hits. Oh, no, I mean 1,000,000 hits. Oh, just little me. I mean, I could come on your little podcast. That's fine. I'll sing a song, whatever you want. I'm just Brandon McCaghren. I'm sorry, Brandon motherfucking McCaghren, who has a major social media presence.
I didn't curse. Just remember that.
Well, I mean,
but all the other stuff was probably
all
true.
100% true.
Especially the belly rub.
Yeah.
He was definitely rubbing the belly.
Because that's the thing. I'm like, as an impersonator, I will take on the persona of when I become them. Like when I talk to Casey, I'm like, Jesus, I'm slouching. I can't. Just even standing next to you, I got to do that.
Can we all?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to slouch again. So let me know what's going on here. Okay, so that's where we met him. That's where we noticed that. However, people love your voice. They think that you have a very nice voice. How has things changed? Like, do you get people who have come into your academy still? Like, I know that dude didn't show back up, right?
Oh, no more challenges. No more challenges. That used to happen all the time. Yeah, I haven't had one since that. So this happened this weekend. Casey, Derek can confirm too. I'm getting off the plane at LAX, and as I'm getting off, the guy on the row in front of me goes, "Hey, are you Brandon McCaghren?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm Brandon McCaghren." He's like, "I watch all your videos on Facebook," and then so he's like, "Can we take a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he takes a picture, and then like 3 other people are like, "Oh, we need a picture too," but they had no idea who it was. They're just like, "Oh, you must be famous. We're going to LA." Oh, and so I did take pictures. I was like, "Yes."
Brandon,
I love being the center of attention.
such a whore. You're such a whore.
I love it.
We just
That
like,
doesn't make me bad.
oh yeah, whatever. You're like gonna become the like Kim Kardashian of jiu-jitsu all of a sudden. It's just gonna be you in selfies and like, hey,
And bare nipples.
Right, absolutely.
Just nothing but nipples. That's why I'm gonna open a restaurant called Nothing But Nipples.
it's
Well,
gonna
nothing but
It's
noodles.
gonna be a hit.
huge in Alabama. But I like the idea. I mean, you're almost there. So we're gonna try and make you the Kim Kardashian of this. Let me know what we got going on there, Casey. Okay, so tell me this: we've had some people that we've seen that you've been cornering do great things. Ashley just killed it in her last fight. Looked really, really strong. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
It was amazing. I mean, it was in Hamburg, Germany. So it's always great when you get to travel internationally and Ashley was prepared. You know, I thought she was going to do a good job. We had a late opponent change, and Veronica Macedo, the new opponent, was very dynamic. You know, the other fighter was Jermaine Romardé or whatever. She's like 64-0 Muay Thai fighter. It was pretty clear what we were going to do with her, you know, and then we got this girl who's very dynamic, good Taekwondo, very good judo, good jiu-jitsu, and you know, kind of made me a little more nervous, to be honest, because when you're fighting a dynamic, well-rounded fighter, the opportunity to get hurt is greater, right? And then and Ashley's just a stud. She just goes out and performs.
I have to say, she looked not only so dominant in that fight, but that strategy. I've never really seen anybody use the cage with that kind of an angle, because she cuts an angle on her where she's just on the edge of the octagon right before she's going to drop some of the world's nastiest elbows. And I was like, you know, in jiu-jitsu, maybe you can get out of that position. You can kind of work around it, do some great escaping. There's no escaping devastating elbows getting dropped on you. And I mean, up until then, it wasn't like she was just lollygagging around. She was winning those rounds distinctively. And I just thought it was a true credit to you. And I saw that giant smile on your face when you make it in there. And I'm just like, Jesus. And then even then, I'm like, oh, my God, Casey just looks like a man in there. Just looking in there and just being like, everybody respect my mustache.
The same fight where Brian Stan was just like stroking you the whole time. Like, what fight was that?
Anthony Burchak, yeah, International Fight Week. Anthony Burchak versus Delano Lopes. Yeah, he gave me some love.
What did he say about you?
I don't know. I mean, maybe
you don't.
I don't listen to my own press. I don't read my own articles. However, he did say I was amazing. Of course you do.
I love my articles about me. Are my
You
favorite.
Kardashian. Have you written any article about yourself?
I'm considering it right now. Actually, that was a great idea.
I'm probably going to say it like I wrote it. And I'm going to be like, I did not write any of that garbage that was nice about it.
It was inspired by you, though.
The best works are. All right, tell me what we got going on here. All right. You got to get B-Mac to sing. Nothing. Ha ha ha. Casey is awesome. Real down-to-earth dude. I learned a lot from one class with him and his guys in Vegas. Great experience. Thank you very much, Julian. I mean, again, I'm just a visitor here whenever I come to these places. And it's not just Casey. It's a whole system that you've got here. What is it that you look for in a coach? Because I think that you find exceptional talent to be those people who are your coaches. Because when I've come to places when you're not there, it's the best way to tell. It's like a secret shopper where you go, nobody knows who the fuck I am. All right. And I'm like, I know Casey. And they go, okay. We're going to treat you real nice. And I'm like, okay, good. But if I literally walk in and I don't say anything, I just like to observe. I'd like to be a fly on the wall. And I get excited when I see them carry over a lot of the things that I know about you. So what is it that you look for in a coach? And what do you think makes a great coach?
Well, for me, a little bit of background is I had 2 major corporate jobs in my life, and I, for some reason, was getting promoted to manager and positions of authority within the corporate structure. And part of my job function was as a talent development person. So I think that I look at people a little different. It's not necessarily performance. It's not necessarily like stature. It's some intangible things. I really haven't been able to define exactly what it is I look for, but I have a really good sense for people. And I could name a list of them. Boodle Matt is one of the amazing ones, and I mean, he came in as a young man, very young back then, with short hair, very clean cut, good looking kid. Now he's kind of a hippie, but
So I was about to say, let's not get over the fact
He's gorgeous.
he just lost his good looks over the years. Can we I'm going to pause you. We're going to come back to that. Can we take a moment? Because he's got like a sex van.
It's cool, though.
It's really cool. Like, he's got it set up where he was like, have you seen my back seat? Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Have you looked into my dreamy eyes? And I was just like, damn, son.
I wish he was here now so we could look at him. Is he still outside?
he's got a shower on his roof of his Honda Fit. A shower.
You know what's great is it's a couple seconds behind, so I could just see myself sliding it seductively here on the review monitor. Anyway, resume. So people like him, people like
Scary Carey's another guy. Andy Ballmore, Prudencio. These are guys that I identified very early, and I believe that you got to invest a lot of time and effort and resources into these guys, and build them from the bottom up, And then I've got like Andrew Ram. He was already pretty established when I got him. He was a brown belt, but Doel's another guy from the East Coast who just moved to Vegas with me full time, helping me teach. I'm probably forgetting a bunch, but we have about 18 coaches total. Ken Yim is another one of my guys who's just amazing, and these kids are people that there's a couple principles that we live by, and I kind of try to perpetuate, so it's what are you going to do for someone when it's inconvenient for you? That's like a big one. Like I will never judge you based on what you do for me when it's convenient for you. And I'm going to always do the inconvenient favor for you. And, when you kind of family, team, and really going out of your way to support each other, I think that it's a nice recipe. And I believe that we have a really strong core group of guys that are buying into that, and that's actually part of the reason I love Brandon McCaghren so much, is because he'll do anything for me. I can call him anytime. I once made a post that like hey man, I'm feeling kind of like I need to be refocused, and he immediately hit me up and was like, we need to talk, and that's what it's all about. As instructors, we need to maintain a high level of energy, and we need to be above reproach at all times, and because this is the lighthouse, this is the safe haven for our students. And so when they're at work and I'm having a bad day, I need to make sure that no one ever sees that, you know. But then black belts, we have instructors, you know, John Jock, Eddie Bravo, Brandon McCaghren. These are guys that I consider my instructors, and so, you know, when I hit the wall and I need some guidance, you know, Brandon McCaghren is the first one on the phone, and then you know, incredible qualities like John Jock. I don't ever tell him what's bothering me, and he just knows. And so he just tells me, like, without me telling him, he tells me like what I need to know, and I'm just like, whoa, Jedi.
I've always said that people are lucky that Jean-Jacques didn't go into like detective work, because I feel like crimes wouldn't exist. Like, he would just have that feeling of like, you did the crime, you go to jail. He'd be like, Jean-Jacques, you broke me. There's one. I'll tell you a quick story I enjoy about Jean-Jacques. So one time we had somebody like walk up to me, and I like doing an interview with Jean-Jacques, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, yeah, I'll get out of your way, man. I know Jean-Jacques, like, his time's very precious, so I was like, thank you very much. So Jean-Jacques like shakes my hand, we get a quick photo, and this guy is waiting on the side. And he looks over at me, and he looks over at him. I was like, dude, you want me to grab the photo of you and Jean-Jacques? And he's like, no, I'm here to get a photo with you. And I'm like, with me? He's like, yeah, I'm a fan of your show. And I was like, this is Jean-Jacques Machado. Nobody takes a photo with me when you're around him. And I'm like, you go in the photo with him, and that's when you can take a photo with me. And I was like, you're absolutely insane. And he was just like, oh, is that Jean-Jacques? And I was like, do you do jiu-jitsu? And the guy's like, yeah. I was like, you don't. You need to really, absolutely. And I was like, don't let him hear that we said this story. This story never existed, except for now.
I've got to tell a Jean-Jacques story. And EBI, I get a call from somebody who's on will call for me. Yeah. So I run outside to the front. There's a line around the side of the building. Hundreds of people are trying to come in. And so I grab my friend that was waiting, and I bring him up to a will call, and I'm like, here's where you need to be. And this was right after Carlos Barza's fight at the MGM Juliana Lima. And I hear, Casey. Now, mind you, it's 200 people that know who Jean-Jacques is. I'm legitimately a nobody. Casey. And I hear him calling me, and it's kind of a Brazilian accent, right? And I turn around, and he goes, man, your girl looked amazing. And he was like kind of just standing in line a little bit, and I'm like, Jean-Jacques, what are you doing out here? And he's like, oh, I'm coming in. And he's like, we got to get in line and get our, and I'm like, no, you don't have to get in line. Not. And I'm going to tell you, the funny part is like the security staff at the venue, they don't know jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And they're instructed to even hassle me. Right. That's just the way it is, right? And I just walk up to the lady at the door, and I'm like, this is Jean-Jacques Machado. And she's like, okay. And we walked right in. And man, that was I felt like a movie star. Jean-Jacques was like, yo, and everybody was like, oh my God, he knows Jean-Jacques, you know, and it's just crazy.
Think about that, though. That's not just validation as a human being. That's validation as a coach, that he's looking at you and saying, like, listen, I've seen you develop, but I need to acknowledge the great work you're doing as a coach. That would melt me. I don't even think I could keep it together if he said something like that to me. So credit to him, obviously.
Oh, man, yeah, he made me feel so good. And, you know, that's really, like, one of the things that I try to teach all our coaches is to remember. I remember playing football, and I was not good, you know, and I remember the coach one time just slapped me on the ass after practice, and he was like, hell of a job, Halstead. And I just remembered feeling so good. And I think as just humans, sometimes we don't do that enough to people. And I'm telling you, like, this was about a year ago almost. And it still is something a very important moment to me, because you know, Eddie is my master, and then I also had the pleasure when I was living here of training with Jean-Jacques, so he's also my master, and just to be recognized, or at least, you know, he pays attention. Like, he comments on my Instagram. I always go, whoa, Jean-Jacques, honey, look, and I geek out, man. When we roll together, I just giggle. I giggle the whole time, and I'm like, I'm getting murked by Jean-Jacques. This is wild.
We have
he's always like, calm down, just as cool. And I'm like, no, dude, you don't get it.
You can't. Yeah, I was like, no, there's no calming down when we're rolling with you, Jean-Jacques. I have never had the pleasure, but I do know that when he does post something on our Facebook or something, or on our Instagram, I do a level of how many fists he puts up. Oh, sure. And I was like, oh, that was 6 fists today. I crushed this. This meme is crushing it if Jean-Jacques gave 6 fists. So, okay. So that's obviously coming his way. I have to ask you guys this because this was breaking news to me when I was driving down here. But strikes in grappling happening at a future EBI. I know you just barely learned about this.
Yeah, you might know more about it.
I don't. That was literally just a photo that said strikes at a future EBI. What do you think this does in the future? Because, I mean, we're used to seeing people play jiu-jitsu, sport jiu-jitsu a certain way. And this is obviously something that's very... Where does that go for you?
Still on? Did it finish? Okay. I'm super interested to see what happens with that. I like the idea of the combat jiu-jitsu. I think it kind of bridges the gap. So if we don't strike, like I don't have a striking background, but I want to, for lack of a better term, keep it real. I guess that's not a bad term.
Well, I mean, have you taught with strikes in your instruction before?
Oh, yeah.
And how does that change that?
It's always at the forefront.
And I think that should be. I mean, especially this week. The first thing that came into mind was when I saw that there was going to be striking allowed in competition. I was like, did somebody call Wagner Rocha? Because just
kick to that one.
just the Sparta kick, everybody. And again, we're glad AJ's okay. That was good. You're pointing it. It's very.
Were you a competitive dancer?
Tong Sudo Murak Kwan, my friend.
You were a competitive dancer. That's adorable. And again, please show off the beautiful pink arrangement that you have here. And what does this say?
That says princess.
Thank you. All right, you're done. Thank you. Again, so you have a little bit more, I'm sure, insight to this. It may just be the very beginning of it, but is that part of it? Is it that we have a jiu-jitsu mentality of defense, and that there wants to be what happens as a feel for that for EBI in the future?
Yeah, and I know that in the past with U of MMA, Eddie worked very hard with the CAMO organization, the amateur athletic governing body here in California. He worked very hard to get it approved, and I know for a fact that he thinks it's a good bridge or a stopgap between jiu-jitsu and MMA, and I believe that it'll help the jiu-jitsu actually open up. Because if you're allowed to punch on the ground, you've got to open up to defend yourself. It's going to give you some really good opportunities to work jiu-jitsu. No, it's gloves. It's MMA. It's MMA, just no striking, standing. So it's wrestling.
Just slap each other in the mouth. Just whack.
Slap each other in the mouth.
Yeah, just whash. Like that.
What about if you can only do like Zerberts?
That's not a bad plan. We should have.
You could just go like on everybody or you know.
Motorboat jiu-jitsu.
I can 100% guarantee you that Gordon Ryan and Gary Tonin, that's how they roll. They would actually have ordered. They're like, well, we've been doing that for years. That I literally wake him up like this. Like, I think that it's an interesting development to it. And I mean, obviously, since EBI has become kind of the showcase for jiu-jitsu right now, it is probably the most visible place to try it out. I just know that it is different, and I know that there's going to be a few guard players who are going to be like, this changes things. Sure. So, especially after we just had the experiment, and I didn't think this was bad, but I thought Eduardo Telles brought a very interesting game at the last EBI where he said he's like, I'm going defense, and it was fascinating to watch just to see like, all right, how does that play? Because nobody, I mean, maybe people do it in their own mindset or they game plan, but nobody outright said that.
I'll tell you what Tellus looked like to me. I actually liked it a lot, and it reminded me of skateboarding in like the late '90s, when like the early '90s everybody was real aggressive and hardcore, and then everybody started to get that real relaxed skateboarding style, and he kind of reminded me. It looked like he was trying to be effortless with his jiu-jitsu, and he was just kind of standing and moving around, and I kind of like things that are different, to be honest. Yeah. Like everybody's doing the same stuff now, so everybody is like on to heel hooks and stuff, and I just thought it was kind of cool to see what he was doing.
Absolutely. And you were saying you were a fan of it as well, yeah?
Yeah, I think Tellus is my favorite jiu-jitsu player of all time. He also has the best jiu-jitsu instructional video ever. Which one? The Turtle Guard. It's the best one ever. He starts it out, and he like looks at the camera and he goes, I'm gonna talk to you guys in English for a little bit, and then I'm gonna to the Portuguese. Everybody, the referee now gonna give the points to me. They don't believe that Turtle Guard is a guard. but I to sweep him. And what the man do not understand sometimes the turtle to bite you. Sometimes the turtle bite you, man. Boom. And then he talks Portuguese the rest of it. He goes, boom. And you can, the whole DVD, it's like, it's that one guy that translates over the top of the Portuguese, but you can still hear the Portuguese in the back. And he'll be like, boom. He just, boom.
What was that movie, like Couples Retreat or whatever, where the yoga guy's like, boom. Boom.
Mr. Tellis, if you're watching this by any chance, we say this with absolute love.
I loved it.
I
love it.
But
it's my favorite one.
But
ever.
I want a remix of this. If you are gifted as much to just
boom.
I think it's great, and I honestly, it had a lot of fans just because it was unique and it's different, and I feel like that's going to be something that you're going to see people do. People are going to make those proclamations of, I want to do this, and I want to put this in the game. So
EBI 9, there's one of my training partners. His name is Daniel O'Brien. I think he's the best black belt that's going to have ever been in the show. Really? That's what I believe.
Wow.
And he has the most elegant, beautiful, effortless jiu-jitsu I've ever seen. So you remember the name. Casey's trained with him.
Okay. And again, I don't want to put anything out there.
I don't hear the snicker. He's like, yeah.
I don't want to put anything else out there. I'll just say this. From what you have said, yes. 100% very interested. And then hearing on the side, Brandon's putting him over during the seminar and saying, like, he's amazing, he's great. But the real sell is looking over on the side and seeing Casey going, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Again, I was reminded that I am old and that there are levels and that my black belt is a time-served black belt. And this young man was not sweating, was not tired, was hair was beautiful.
He has beautiful.
Does he really? Pert plus. Oh, yes.
Have you asked him what he uses in it? Or
I think he uses the tears and the blood of his victims in it or something. Look, so Casey was teaching in Decatur on a Saturday. On Friday night, I was like, Casey, I need you to roll with Daniel. I need you to roll with him because I know Casey has a hand in the matchmaking at EBI. I need you to meet Daniel. So here's what happens. Daniel lines me and Casey and then a couple other guys up, and we're all just like coming in. I'm like, and Daniel's going, like he's dodging bullets in the Matrix, and he's just like tap, 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 taps Casey 35 times. He taps me 112 times. He taps everybody, and he never even sweated. And that's what it's like training with Daniel.
That's a pretty good promotion. They need to put that in the promotional material for the next EBI. Okay. So if that's the case, EBI comes up, I believe, top of November. November 6th. Thank you very much. Casey, you seem to always know a little bit about what's going on there for good reason. What else do we have to look forward to?
For EBI 9? I honestly, we're on Daniel O'Brien for sure, and I would say that he's going to be someone that's gonna change the way that people see jiu-jitsu. And the current competition structure right now is like a lot of heel hooks, a lot of leg attacks, and we're kind of getting away from like dominating positionally and making people work, and I think that his style is going to open up some eyes and maybe start to kind of circle this thing around again.
Okay. Another evolution to it.
I think so, because I've never ever it's almost it's hard to believe until you see it. The lazy nature of his jiu-jitsu actually makes it look weird.
Maybe to put this in more perspective, as somebody who helps with the matchmaking for EBIs, you've had a privy eye to a lot of the talent that's come through. Have you trained with a lot of that talent?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Almost all of it.
So you've trained with a lot of them, and if you have trained with a lot of them and you say probably keep an eye on him, maybe, just maybe, that's a hint. Keep an eye on this gentleman?
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, so that guy's coming through. Anybody else do you know of anybody? Obviously you're impartial in that as well, but do you know anybody else who's competing at EBI that might surprise us? Because here's the thing I love about every EBI is that, obviously the Danaher Death Squad has done very well in that format, but I feel like there's always a showcase position. Like somebody steals the show every single time, whether it be Bill the Grill. I thought last time Josh Hayden stole it. It was absolutely great to see him do his thing. So, is there somebody who's going to steal the show that we don't know aside from him?
I don't know the whole lineup. Of course, Gordon's in there.
And then we also have Vinny. Vinny is in there.
Oh yeah, Vinny. Vinny's man. Can anybody beat Gordon? I guess that's the question. Gordon is.
I mean,
so
but Vinny is also
and Gordon plays a real
fairly
relaxed
spectacular
style too.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, like he even plays different than like Eddie and Gary play. They're very aggressive.
They want to play a lot of athletic to them.
Yeah, Gordon
chills.
he's got a lot of that too.
I mean, if he's going to play a possum guard,
kind of jiu-jitsu.
if he's going to play a possum guard and literally chill it and lie down for you, it's I mean, that's another contribution you could be having somewhere in there. All right, we're going to read a couple of these, and then we're going to get to signing off. Eric Medina says, cool by association. Yeah, I know.
He's talking about how.
No, I got that thing. It's a very similar thing that, like, when I lend myself to the LA Jiu-Jitsu Club, it becomes cool. So you're welcome, Eric Medina. The LA Jiu-Jitsu Club, it's one of the best hostels in California. If you guys need a place to stay, go stay there. They do some good stuff. Only when I'm around, though. Casey's coaching style is incendiary.
Incendiary.
Yeah, it's incendiary.
Who said that?
That would be... I don't want to say this name because my first read was, well, ISIS German.
Isaiah.
Isaiah, thank you. ISIS German. ISIS is a huge fan of you, Casey Halstead.
I don't even have my beard anymore. That's shocking.
And Amanda Boyk says, Brandon, come back for a seminar in Vegas. Loved your first one months ago.
Thank you.
And you will be back in Vegas because the two of you.
Because we're BFF.com.
BFF.com.
Don't go to BFF.com. I don't know.
BFF.net.
That's bad.
BFF.com. I bet you're going to see some stuff.
Well, gentlemen, you've been so gracious with your time. I would love to sit here and take the time forever. I'm Christian, my friend. Again, we know I am just an idiot in the way I read. So, Isaiah, I'm a terrible person. It's not. Hey, he said the beard joke, so we're all accomplices on this. Y'all are. You're too American, living up in the BAMs.
Yes.
Remember when you tried to do a football joke at our expense here?
Well, y'all don't have football.
We have football here.
No, y'all have like teams that try to play football. Like, do y'all remember?
Rams are 3-1 right now.
That's not real football. College.
Oh, college football.
Do you remember when USC tried to play Alabama at the beginning of the season?
When Anthony Davis returned the touchdown and won?
No. I'm talking about when Bama beat them 52-6 on the opening day. Yeah, like the only one that matters, right? Well,
Yeah.
I guess the other seasons when we keep winning national
You do
championships.
jujitsu. Why are you even trying to bring football into the middle of this?
Well, it's just a way to insult, y'all.
Yeah, no, I got it. But then there was an.
do something.
You gotta know. I'm very respectful to you on the mats because when I come here, obviously that's true. But when I come here, here's the thing. Don't forget, I have the microphone, and I will crush you on the microphone. On the mats, it's inverted. It's an inverted
Took
world.
the microphone away and actually crushed your nose with the microphone.
I mean, that's a very difficult thing. I'd have to figure my way out of it. But since you're not crushing my mouth, I'm still able to smart-ass my way through most of it. And be like, hey, you're fat. Remember? Look at how pink your leg is. Sarah Bareilles, am I right? But the thing is, you left an open opportunity here when you were trying to make fun of the California education system. You were like, I don't know. Do y'all read? And I was like, you're from Alabama. You don't get to make those jokes.
I hear bad things.
Anyway, this is fun. I could do this forever, but we should call it a close for at least today's venture. Again, Chris Pinandero, you the man. Thank you. I know I'm great here. No, is that me or you? Where's that Casey? I think it's probably Casey. It's Casey. Gentlemen, can we get some shout outs? Can we take care of some people that you love that you want to say hello to?
I love my wife and my children. That's the only people that matter.
Good answer. Good answer.
Well, I love my wife who's watching, Charmaine. I'll see you tomorrow. And then Abigail and Charlie. Love you guys and all of my students. And just, I love jiu-jitsu, man. You know, get out there and train, find an academy. You sign up for jiu-jitsu, we all win.
Good answer. Good answer. It's a Family Feud style. I noticed that they brought out a donation for Brandon, and he got many dollars that people were donating for him. He's gonna have lots of stripper dollars along with other ones that are other presidents as well. And I noticed that Casey put out a little container for my interviewing skills, and it has no money. So next time, Casey, if you wouldn't mind requiring that people pay me to do this, that'd be great, as opposed to making me feel my shame.
I will.
Oh, okay. That's great.
I can give you Brandon's money.
Oh, can you? Okay, great. Because, like, honestly, like, what? The dollar's like $1 million in Alabama money. Like, give him $20 and he's going to be a king.
Pesos in
I think they do, yeah.
I don't know.
Which is strange because he just learned what a cholo is today. Tell me what a cholo means.
I don't actually, I still don't know.
Fool, no, you need to know what a cholo means. No, fool, you know.
Just to point them out to me.
I did, and guess what? What was the funniest part of the seminar? Up until then, you had, like, little applause, little applause. First thing I said, I was like, you say cholo, this place is going to go nuts. And then what happened?
That's what happened, yeah.
Comedian.
Why do you think? How did you learn cholo?
I just hear you say it all the time. I'm like, I need to work that into my
Have you? Yeah, dude, I should stop.
I was about to say, I was like, ugh. But before we go, I want to give a quick credit to Derek again. So let's do this. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Do you mind holding this? Wait.
Can I say hi?
Yeah, do it.
Kevin. I'll miss Kevin.
Kevin Phillips, my co-host. He just said he misses and loves Kevin. Hold this camera real quick. I just want to say a quick few words to you. Derek, why is your jiu-jitsu so good?
The fruits and veg.
The fruits and veg?
The fruits and veg.
Uncle Hanach is strong in you, my friend. Again, you did the hard work of lifting it up, the camera the entire time, so I want to say thank you very much. Dude, put them away. Put them away. You're going to make me feel really bad about myself. Your jiu-jitsu's already too good for me to be in this same frame with you. Can we take care of anybody that you know and love that you want to say hello to as well?
Casey, Brandon, Edgy Bra, Matt, Andy, all my coaches. Thank Ram, Andrew the Ham.
You guys do have a good relationship. He's a scary person for you to be learning from because he's quite good at jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah, I love Ram. Ram's awesome.
Said with the stone coldness of a serial killer. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you know his jiu-jitsu is quite good. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody here, Brandon, Casey, Derek, myself, Andrew Rahm, thank you so much for joining us on this nice little chat that we had here. And again, if you guys get the chance to visit any one of Casey's 10th Planets, do it immediately. But if you're not going to do that, do some jiu-jitsu because, hey, it's good things. So keep it locked here at verbaltapcast.com. My name is Rafa Sparza. Have a good night, you guys.